Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Resurrection Day. This is the day that if it didn't happen, we wouldn't be here this morning. But because it happened, we're here. And because it happened, we'll be there. And in between, we have a lot of work to do. I was thinking about what I was going to say today, and kind of an unusual passage. Instead of passage, actually kind of it was kind of late on me a little bit, so I started exploring a little bit. I want to share with you two different versions of the same thing. The setting of this is John the Baptist, who is in Herod's prison. You might not think there's much of a resurrection message, but it really is. Um, while he was in the prison, surely thoughts of that he would be killed by Herod. I mean, Herod was a very evil man. He killed members of his own family. And he was power hungry. And really didn't like what John the Baptist was saying. That's why he was beginning it on the silence. So while in prison, John asked his disciples to find Jesus and ask him if he's truly the one that we've been waiting for. The idea of doubts that came into his mind, having seen all that he had seen, and having experienced baptism, even the voice of God saying, "This is my beloved Son." The things that went through his mind as a human being, probably getting ready to be executed. So let's take a look at this. In Luke 7:18 through 23. Luke 7:18 through 23. The disciples of John reported to him about all these things. Summoning two of his disciples, John sent them to the Lord, saying, "Are you the expected one, or do we look for someone else?" When the men came to him, they said, "John the Baptist has sent us to you to ask, are you the expected one, or do we look for someone else?" At that very time, he cured many people of diseases and afflictions and evil spirits. And he gave sight to many who were blind. And he answered and said to them, "Go and report to John what you have seen and heard. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, the poor have the gospel preached to them. Blessed is he who does not take offense." In the book of Matthew, we read in Matthew 11:4 through 6, and verse 12. Jesus told them, "Go back to John and tell him what you have heard and seen. The blind see, the lame walk, the lepers are cured, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised to life, and the good news is being preached to the poor. Tell him, God blesses those who do not turn away because of me." And from the time John the Baptist began preaching until now, the kingdom of heaven has been forcefully advancing, and violent people are attacking. In the book of Isaiah, Isaiah 35:5 through 6, it was prophesied. But Isaiah only mentions the blind seeing, the deaf hearing, those who cannot speak singing, and the lame leaping. There's no mention of the dead being raised, the good news being taught for the heavens advancing. So we see three partial accounts here. And then we come to another writing of the same account that is less familiar. And it was, praise God, found in the Dead Sea Scroll. And it reads like this. This is from the second fragment, from the fourth fragment. "For the heavens and the earth shall listen to his Messiah, and all which is in them shall not turn away from the commandments of the Holy One. For he will honor the pious upon the throne of his eternal kingdom, setting prisoners free, opening the eyes of the blind, raising up those who are bowed down, and forever I shall hold fast to those who hope, and in his faithfulness shall and the Lord shall do glorious things which have not been done. Just as he said, for he shall heal the critically wounded. He shall revive the dead. He shall send good news to the afflicted. He shall satisfy the poor. He shall guide the uprooted. And this is something that it's believed that John would have been very, very familiar with this uh, this passage from the acclaimed sect of Judaism. The others would have been more familiar with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, but this is from the economy of esteem. And this is what is probably taken back to John, and it's more complete. It talks about raising the dead and talks about a little bit more in depth what he was going through. This would have rung a bell with John, reaffirming that he is truly the Messiah, you know. And I believed in my heart of hearts that he knew that he was. This is a human being. Sometimes we second guess things. And I think in our own lives, how many times have we second guessed, that God can really do something in a situation that we're going through? We might know it empirically, but to believe it in times when things seem like they're really heavy on us, we're being totally oppressed, and we think there's no way out. I think that's kind of where John is at, right? And Jesus certainly doesn't rebuke his response. He quotes the scripture, quotes the truth. Ring a bell with John and gives him reaffirmation that his life is on the right track. Even though he was facing death, there is no death because Christ raised him. But as he himself is raised from the dead. Happy resurrection day, everybody. Praise be to Jesus. And let's have prayer at this time.